Hello, it's Kelly here from spiritualawakeningsigns.com, and today we are delving into the exciting world of Kundalini Rising, how to balance and harmonize your energy for spiritual transformation and whole self-integration. Now, this masterclass is not for the faint-hearted. It's for those of you who've been going through awakening, who feel like you don't know what is going on, who feel that there's so many different weird signs and symptoms. You feel like your energy is absolutely just as high as it's ever been, and you're finding it difficult to put yourself and your life back together. Now, there's going to be a lot of aha moments. There might also be a few challenging aha moments where you think, yeah, I resonate with that, or I've had a feed about that. We're going to cover it all today. And the most important thing I want you to know before we get into the content is that I've got you, and this process can become something really wonderful in your life. You just need to know how to harness it and how to adjust it just a little bit, and wonderful things can flow from this. So here's what we're going to cover today: what Kundalini Rising really is, and how it helps you to unblock every chakra, and what you want to be doing about that, because we can get the process of chakra damage throughout this too. We're going to talk about the different signs and challenges that come up, that your Kundalini energy is rising at the moment. Now, some of those are very difficult challenges. We're also going to talk about the dangers, the potential dangers, and the challenges, things like mental health challenges that quite often come up in spiritual awakening, and just how challenging that can be and how you can get yourself back on track. We're also going to cover the transformative benefits of balancing and recalibrating that Kundalini energy, because honestly, when you do, it's going to just completely align your energies. It will really make things so much better for you. And we're going to talk about, of course, practical steps and techniques that you can use to balance your Kundalini energy. And I'm going to let you in a little secret. This is top secret stuff that I have developed from working with one-to-one clients who are spiritually awakening for a long time, and also in my own awakening experience too. And the guidance that you're going to get in this will not be what you expect. I guarantee that. So hold on to the end and find out what the steps are. Now, as I always say, we've got quite a lot to get through, so please, pause, get a cup of tea, have a little biscuit, get a notebook and a pen, or just take whatever you need to really get the most out of this masterclass. We've got a lot of information to share, and I'm looking forward to covering this because most people don't. So let's dive right in. So the first thing that I want you to know is that if you're going through a spiritual awakening, if you consider that that's where you are, then you are definitely going through the process of Kundalini Rising. And Kundalini Rising is when the dormant life force energy that sits at the base of the spine, when it awakens and it blasts through each main chakra like a rocket as it moves up through the center, each main chakra, and it connects you to source, from here to source, and it causes spiritual awakening. It's immeasurably powerful, and it opens a sort of secret door, if you will, that really awakens our soul, truly awakens our spirit, but it can also be hugely damaging to the recipient, hugely damaging. And that's because as that powerful, really explosive energy, that Kundalini energy, shoots up through the main chakra system, it crashes through the energy blocks of every single one, moving right up through, crashing through them. Now, if you think of this big picture, this is actually a good thing, because it's going to make sure that anything and everything that is holding you back from that pure connection to source, which is what we're all trying to get to in spiritual awakening, it's going to ensure that anything that holds you back from connecting to source, to your spirituality, to your higher self, is immediately brought to the surface so that it can be realized, so that it can be healed, and so that it can be cleared. That means that each chakra is going to be performing at absolute peak performance, okay, absolutely crystal clear, and it's quite challenging to get to that point without this Kundalini Rising process. So big picture, it's positive, but going through it is definitely very challenging. Now, unfortunately, the same thing that makes this so positive actually is the reason that spiritual awakening so often brings us absolutely to our knees. Okay, so if you've been going through that, there's nothing wrong with you. It's all part of the process, please believe me. And I think the more that we talk about this different information, that you'll start to understand that really is the case. But you need to imagine when Kundalini Rising begins, when that energy surges up through all the central chakras and up to source, blasting through every chakra. Imagine every pain, every hurt, every judgment, every rejection, every tragedy and trauma that you've ever experienced or struggled to deal with, and we're talking current life and past lives too, it all comes to the surface at once because of this Kundalini rising energy. And this is exactly what spiritual awakening does to us. This is what makes it so difficult, but it's also what helps to completely set us free. Now, for some people, it causes a variety of different emotional and physical issues, as all these different blocks are seeking resolution. So they could be anything, everyone could have something different. In other people, it can literally shatter the self into a myriad of fragmented pieces, and that leaves us feeling broken. It leaves us struggling to cope and unable to put ourselves back together and wondering what the heck just happened. We're like, I don't understand what happened. I thought awakening was supposed to be this beautiful thing, and I feel like I am in pieces. Okay, so if that's happening to you, again, don't worry. It is a part of the Kundalini rising process. So at the very least, you've got confirmation that it's definitely spiritual awakening you're going through. Okay, so you'll experience things like heightened sensitivity, unexplained physical sensations, disruptions in your sleep patterns. All those sort of things are common, but we'll go into more of the signs a little bit later in the video. But more than that, the intense release of past traumas and unresolved emotions are probably going to trigger moments of serious psychological distress, because remember, it's all coming up at once. That's why it's so difficult to handle. If you had just one here and then a little while later one there, you could deal with it. They all come up at once. Okay, now some individuals might even face a sort of existential crisis, or episodes of psychosis. That's really very common, and it prompts this deeper inquiry into the nature of reality and the nature of self. Okay, this can be a positive thing. This can be a healing and integrating experience if you just take all the labels off of it and look at it for what it actually is. However, when it gets that difficult, it doesn't actually need to be that way. Okay, that's the one thing I want you to take away from today. It doesn't need to be that way. Now, if you can recalibrate the flow of your Kundalini energy to levels that are healthy and appropriate for you, what you're going to find is a change straight away. Now, if you could adjust that, if you could just turn that down like a dimmer switch, of course, the ferocity of how it's moving through the chakras and how quick it's bringing everything up would calm down immediately, wouldn't it? So if you can recalibrate that flow, you're going to make it healthy and manageable for you, for your energy, and for your awakening experience. Then you can thrive. That's when spiritual awakening changes from being this thing that just keeps bringing you onto your knees, where you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what step to take next. I don't know why all these crazy symptoms and feelings and emotions and thoughts and everything's all happening at once. It really makes you question yourself. But if you can really recalibrate the flow of that Kundalini energy, you're really going to thrive. So not only can you harness the untapped power of that Kundalini energy while actively reintegrating any lost or broken energy fragments, and when you do it, you're going to feel healthy, you're going to feel whole, you're going to feel complete within, but you're also going to have a connection to the higher realms that will comfort you, that will guide you, that will amaze you. You will be amazed at how strong this connection can be when you really just adjust the levels of the intensity of that Kundalini energy so that you have the connection to source, and also just clearing that other stuff out of the way so that it's really not a concern whatsoever. It's done, it's cleared, we're ready to move forward. Okay, so what I want to talk about next is the benefits that you can have, because we're about to talk about some of the heavier stuff and the challenges of it. I want to make sure that you know how important this can be and how wonderful it can be too. Okay, so again, like I said, Kundalini is that dormant energy at the base of the spine, and it's ready and waiting. It's inherent in every single individual. It is a force waiting to be awakened. It has a transformative potential across physical, mental, emotional, spiritual realms, you name it, every aspect and facet of life. And when it awakens, like I said, it blasts through every single main chakra. It goes off like a rocket. It is such an intense, unbelievable energy, and that's why we just spiral out of control when we're going through awakening. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that the energy is just too intense to manage with the 3D vehicle at the moment, and that's normal for anyone on the awakening pathway. It takes a little bit of time. Now, it also probably sounds quite cool, and it can be if you can deal with the more challenging aspects of it. So let's talk about some of the transformative benefits of Kundalini Rising as a spiritual experience. So the first one is you're going to have heightened awareness and intuition. So Kundalini Awakening really sharpens your intuitive abilities. It's going to enable you to trust your inner guidance implicitly and make more aligned decisions with clarity and with confidence. It's going to help you to navigate life's challenges with a bit more grace. And the heightened intuition that you end up developing can really enhance your empathy and your understanding of other people. That's where your empathic skills just take a little lift on to the next level. You can become much more aware, and it's going to improve your relationships and your social interactions and connections as standard. The second thing that it can do, second benefit, is emotional healing and balance, which we're all like, oh please, when we get to this point, because you do just end up like an emotional mess when you're going through this process. I'll keep saying it, it's not you, it's the process, okay? So as that Kundalini energy flows through your body, it's going to help to release the emotional blockages by purifying each and every one of your main chakras. And they store all the emotional memories, all the traumas, all the tragedies, all the heavy stuff. So by clearing those energetic blockages, you're going to have a better sense of inner calm. You're going to have reduced anxiety, definitely. You're going to have improved emotional resilience. That balance is going to be there, and it's going to allow you to respond to any sort of challenge that comes up in life with grace and composure. This is where we get to that sort of enlightened energy. You know, you see these gurus and they have this stillness within, and they just take everything in their stride. They know how to handle it. They don't become an emotional mess over these things. They just keep things still. That's where this comes from. It's about really balancing all aspects of self. The third benefit that you'll find is expanded creativity and expression. Tapping into your Kundalini energy stimulates your creative potential. It sparks new ideas. It brings in innovative thinking and divine inspiration. So this is where you get thoughts and ideas that you're like, wow, this is like turning my life around, my world around. I hadn't thought of that before. That sort of creative awakening can manifest in quite a lot of different ways and different forms in your life, anywhere from artistic expression to problem solving in your personal life, maybe even your professional or work life. The flow of that Kundalini energy removes mental blockages too, and it's going to open those channels for inspiration. It's going to allow you to explore new possibilities, new ways of thinking, and it's going to bring your creative visions to life while you're really expressing yourself authentically. It's like you can't not express yourself authentically when that energy is coming through. And it makes it this really natural flowing process. It's not like that energy of like writer's block, or when you have to really focus on something. It just starts to flow, or it comes to you at the right time, and it's like, wow, that's such an amazing idea, and it really aligns with me and who I am. So the fourth is spiritual connection and growth. And of course, this is the whole purpose of us doing spiritual awakening in the first place. But it also, Kundalini Rising really fosters a profound connection to your spiritual essence and all the universal energies that are around about you. So it's going to catalyze spiritual growth. It's going to lead you to deeper insights than you've had before, meaningful synchronicities, and a sense of oneness with the cosmos. It really shifts and changes things to where you can feel it. You can actually feel that sense of connection. And then number 5, our fifth benefit, is inner joy and positivity. As you align with that Kundalini energy, you're going to cultivate a sense of inner joy, positivity, fulfillment, contentment. Is going to enrich every single aspect of your life, every area of your life. And that inner joy really stems from that deep connection to your true self and to the universe, bringing in that sense of gratitude, that sense of contentment. Everything's okay, that everything's okay feeling comes in then. And by embracing that sort of positivity, you're going to be able to navigate life's challenges again from a hopeful outlook, from an optimistic outlook. You're going to be able to kind of spread that energy, that happiness, that positivity and that light to those around you, which really is a wonderful feeling when you know that you can uplift others and make a difference. Would these transformative benefits improve your life and your awakening? I'm sure that they would. If yes, then it's all right here waiting for you. We're going to get into the next part of the information. So get ready, because this is a little bit more intense, but it's definitely going to give you the information you need on Kundalini Rising, which I really don't see people fully addressing, and it's a very important part that needs to be addressed. Okay, so that's the good stuff. Let's get into the slightly more challenging stuff. So now we're going to talk about the signs that you're going through Kundalini Rising. We're also going to talk about the dangers and the challenges, so that we can get to that point where we know how to harmonize it. Okay, we need to cover that there are challenges. It definitely has challenges for the person who goes through this. Okay, so today I really want to talk about one of the sort of secret primary concerns that no one seems to be willing to address in an unmanaged Kundalini Rising awakening experience, and that is the all too common potential for mental health challenges or even episodes of psychosis. This is something that can happen. They call it mystical madness for a reason. Now, these intense energy surges that happen with Kundalini Rising, if they're left untreated, they purge the chakras. We talked about that a little bit earlier on, and when they do that, it can understandably completely overwhelm the psyche. It can lead to feelings of disorientation, anxiety, or even episodes of psychosis for some individuals, and it is common to temporarily lose a bit of a grip on reality just for a little while. That 3D reality suddenly doesn't make sense, or we're not applying our usual thought patterns, or it doesn't feel real. There's lots of different experiences that people can go through in this. Now, in such a heightened state of awareness, quite often our intuition gets sort of mixed in with the negative content and the damage and the different things that's coming up at that time, because that negative content is seeking release. It's looking to be healed and cleared. So our insights start to become confusing, they become inaccurate, and sometimes even temporarily completely removed from logic, reason, and grounding. And that's when we can get into trouble. That's really important that we're watching out for those types of moments. Okay, now if this has happened to you, or even if you suspect it's happened on some sort of low level in some way, you know, for some people it's some mental health challenges, for others it could be something a bit more intense. If it goes untreated, please don't worry, because we're going to be sharing the key tips and guidance that you need to help you reintegrate all the energies, and balance can absolutely be found again after an experience like this. Okay, you can put yourself back together again and get back on your spiritual pathway in a healthy way. However, even if Kundalini Rising doesn't take you to those potential, dangerous depths, it can and will still unearth deep-seated emotional wounds and traumas. It's going to bring them to the surface for healing. And unexpressed trauma, unexpressed trauma responses quite often look for release and clearing, and that means they can even play out in real life, real time, which is incredibly confusing. Why do I feel terrified? Why do I feel like I've just run a marathon? Why do I feel like I need to run away? Really odd, strange sensations and experiences that we don't understand. And this is where we feel that intense anxiety, that intense fear, and we can't find any sort of cause for it. You see, it's why am I terrified? There's no reason to be terrified. I'm sitting here reading a book, or I'm sitting in the park, or I'm watching TV. Like, why would I feel like that? That's usually when you know that it's to do with the Kundalini Rising experience. Now, this can be a really powerful catalyst for growth and transformation, but it can also be very emotionally taxing and very challenging to manage. So let's take a look at some of the signs that you're going through Kundalini Rising, and then we'll get into the good stuff where we're talking about balancing it all and putting it all together. Okay, because there's absolutely hope and wonderful joyous things on the other side of this experience that you're going through right now. So let's look at some of the signs. So the first sign that you would probably get in going through Kundalini Rising, which of course everyone goes through when you're going through spiritual awakening, is physical discomfort. Now, as that Kundalini energy moves up through all the main chakras, it's going to cause various physical sensations. So you might get a sense of intense heat or tingling or pressure along the spine, the neck, the skull, and other parts of the body. And these sensations can be uncomfortable. If you're really ungrounded, they can even be a little bit painful. And they might manifest as things like muscle cramps, headaches, migraines, dizziness, or even gastrointestinal issues. Now, it's essential that you listen to your body and you go and seek medical advice if it's needed. It's always best, I always say to people, go and get the 3D vehicle checked, because it'll put your mind at ease, and it means that you're taking care of the 3D vehicle. If you get information that there's something wrong in the 3D that needs treatment, that doesn't negate the fact that you're going through a spiritual awakening. It just means that that part needs a bit of 3D intervention to heal and to repair and to get better. So always make sure that you're looking after your physical symptoms. The next one is emotional turmoil, and I know we'll all be familiar with this one. Now, the release of suppressed emotions and unresolved past traumas during Kundalini awakening can lead to very intense emotional experiences, and a lot of people find themselves unexpectedly crying, feeling waves of anger or depression, or experiencing really deep fear and anxiety. And this emotional turbulence is a very natural part of that healing process, but it can be really overwhelming without the right coping mechanisms or emotional support in place. The next one would be mental health challenges. Now, we've kind of covered this a little bit already. It can sometimes trigger mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, temporary loss of a grip on reality, or even episodes of psychosis in some serious cases. The sudden shifts in perception and consciousness can be very disorienting. It can lead to confusion and even fear, because it takes us a little while for the mind to catch up. The energy's moving so fast, the mind needs a little moment just to catch its breath and catch up and integrate all this new understanding. So it's really crucial to have some sort of support system in place, including mental health professionals who really understand spiritual experiences and can provide appropriate care and guidance. Spiritual crisis is the next one. So the awakening process really often challenges those existing belief systems that we have in place, different perceptions of reality, and it leads to what we would know as a spiritual crisis, or even a dark night of the soul. This can cause feelings like confusion, existential dread, and a sense of being lost or feeling disconnected from your own spiritual path. Now, navigating this sort of crisis requires quite a lot of patience, introspection, and quite often the guidance of some other experienced spiritual mentor who's been through the awakening process and who really understands what that is. The next thing that you can go through that would indicate you're going through Kundalini Rising would be energy imbalances. Now, if the Kundalini energy is not properly managed, it can lead to imbalances in the body's energy system. That might manifest as restlessness or anxiety, insomnia, chronic fatigue. Balancing practice like grounding exercises, energy healing, and even physical activity can help to maintain a harmonious energy flow and kind of mitigate these symptoms, but you must make sure it's the right kind. If you're doing any sort of energy healing, you must make sure that it's the right kind and that the person you're working with fully understands the volatility of the Kundalini energies, when they're working with you. Isolation and loneliness. This is a tough one. Now, the profound inner changes that are brought about by that Kundalini Rising energy can really create a sense of disconnection from friends and family who might not really understand or relate to the experience. It can lead to quite a lot of feelings of isolation and loneliness. So if you can find a community of like-minded individuals or some sort of spiritual support group, that can really help and bring much needed companionship and understanding throughout your journey. We've also got difficulty in daily functioning. Now, this is a key one that people usually think there's something wrong with them going through awakening, but it's not. The intensity of the Kundalini awakening experience can really interfere with everyday responsibilities and normal functioning. So simple tasks might start to become completely overwhelming, and maintaining any sort of regular routine can be very challenging. It's important that you give yourself permission to rest and to take breaks when you need it, and to communicate your needs to those around you, because you might be able to get a little bit more help. Okay. The next one is overstimulation. Now, you're going to have a heightened sensitivity to external stimuli such as noise, light, social interactions, and it's going to make everyday environments a bit more overwhelming than usual. So managing that sensitivity really requires some lifestyle adjustments. You might want to create a bit more of a calm living space. You might want to reduce that sort of sensory input and just take a bit of downtime. and you might want to practice some relaxation techniques. They can absolutely help. We've also got a misinterpretation of experiences. Now it's important to include this one because without proper guidance it can be really difficult to interpret the various experiences and sensations of Kundalini awakening correctly. The misinterpretation can lead to a lot of unnecessary fear, anxiety and confusion, but educating yourself about this process and getting guidance from experienced practitioners can really help in understanding and integrating these experiences much more effectively. You'll find peace much more quickly when you take the advice of someone who's already walked that path. And then of course that brings us to the need for proper guidance. You're in a place where you just need proper guidance and you don't know how to get it maybe. But navigating the Kundalini awakening process safely and effectively really requires the guidance of an experienced teacher or some sort of mentor who can provide support and direction. And it's important that they have that from their own experiences and from working with other people, because it's such a volatile energy to work with. You really need someone who knows what they're doing and who's confident in what they do. A knowledgeable guide can really help you to understand the experiences that you're going through. They can dissolve a lot of fear and anxiety. They can offer practical advice and give you tips on how to manage it and ensure that you're practicing techniques that promote balance safely. That's the most important thing. Now, do you resonate with any of the above signs? If you even think that you might be going through Kundalini Rising, then we've got something that's going to help, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. So let's talk about our steps and techniques that you can take to balance and harmonize your Kundalini energies right now, because the potent energy of Kundalini Rising really has to be balanced and harmonized in order to unleash its full potential. You must. If you leave it, it will just run wild and you won't be able to find balance. You want to just kind of recalibrate it. So let's talk about the practical steps and the techniques together, okay? If you're going to write anything down, write down this. This is the most important part of the masterclass, okay? So number one is to avoid energetic stimulants at all costs. And I really mean that, okay? Firstly, we need to ground the high frequency Kundalini energies that are surging through your system as a result of the awakening process. But I must stress that engaging in absolutely anything that affects your energy in any way will intensely charge your Kundalini energy even further than it already is. So you're going to become even more ungrounded and you'll feel worse as a result. You absolutely cannot ground if you are still using spiritually charging items or energy affecting practices. So you want to aim to temporarily cut out crystals, essential oils, yoga, incense, even standard meditation, even breath work, in order to allow grounding to occur, because any of those items, any of those things will absolutely just start to take your energy back up. It will just charge it so much, so fast that you'll be back in the same position you were before. And we must be careful because we know the dangers of not taming that Kundalini energy, okay? Step two, and these must be done in order. Step two, you want to ground your energy. Now that we've disengaged the use of any sort of energetic stimulants, the Kundalini can be grounded. It couldn't before if we're still engaging in those other things. Now it can be grounded. However, attempting to ground using any form of energetic stimulant whatsoever will instantly undo the process, so you must proceed with care, okay? This includes spiritual items and practices that are considered to be grounding, so things like grounding crystals, incense, or even meditation processes. I've seen so many people just almost or get there and just reach that balance, only to find that they do a few yoga moves and their Kundalini's through the roof again and they're just starting from scratch. Okay, don't do that to yourself because it's just exhausting. It's really difficult. Grounding exercises connect you to the earth's energy. They help you to stay centered and they help you to stay present, and the best approaches are the simple ones, okay? So don't use crystals, don't use essential oils, don't use various forms of meditation, breath work, anything like that. Temporarily take a break, okay? Use the simple ones. You want to walk barefoot on the earth or on the grass. You want to spend time in nature. Lying flat on the floor or on the ground can really help. You know, even cold tiles are a really good one if you can't be outside. Visualizing your roots, reaching down into the earth. And my own favourite secret weapon, which most people won't tell you this, but I've just seen it for years and years in my own awakening and with my clients. Balancing your blood sugar. Balancing your blood sugar will ground your energy immediately. It is so strongly linked to our level of anchoring that while a heavy meal of maybe lots of protein and root vegetables can absolutely help, sometimes just a cup of tea and a biscuit can do the trick. It really is that much. I mean, I've seen people who get ungrounded constantly throughout the day, and it's just quick tea break, you know, just enough to bring you back into balance, or whatever it is, that whatever food or snack or something that it is that resonates with you, but please eat, because you'll bring the density, you'll settle the energies, and you'll start to make it much better. Now, the problem is that's not going to last. That's a temporary fix. Okay, you're constantly going to have to go back and redo it all over again unless you take the third step. So this is the most important one. Okay, you're going to recalibrate your Kundalini levels. Now, the key to reducing that intensity and the negative effects of the Kundalini energy is to actively make an adjustment. Don't use meditation, don't use yoga, don't use spiritual items. If you want to recalibrate the levels of your Kundalini energy that you're experiencing, you must perform an energetic adjustment, because we need to change it on the level where it is, the level where it really counts, and that's on the energetic level for this particular thing. So for this, we use energy healing. That means we can recalibrate those levels. We can set them so that you've kind of set it and then you can forget it. And by doing so, we're going to fine tune those Kundalini levels to what is appropriate and balanced for you. It's got to be specific to you. And it's got to be specific to your energy and your awakening, because everyone's a little bit different. So this is a specific adjustment. Plus, from the very moment you get that adjustment onward, the energy is less likely to become overwhelming, to cause disruptive symptoms and to cause any sort of potential crisis. So you're kind of safeguarding yourself in future from that imbalance and that getting thrown off course again. So by incorporating these practical steps and techniques into your daily life, you're going to cultivate a sense of balance, you're going to have vitality, you're going to have inner harmony that empowers you to really embrace the full potential of your Kundalini energy, because it's a wonderful gift if you tame it, if you know how to kind of bring it back into balance and alignment. It's really going to serve you wonderfully. So let's have a little recap of what we've learned today. So we talked about if you're going through awakening, you're going through Kundalini Rising. And Kundalini Rising is when that dormant life force energy at the base of the spine awakens and blasts through each main chakra like a rocket, connecting you to source and causing that spiritual awakening experience. It's immeasurably powerful, but it can be hugely damaging to the recipient. And we talked about how that breaks up the energy blocks of every single chakra, causing all manner of different symptoms, bringing us to our knees and making us feel like we really can't move forward in any way. And then we also talked about the transformative benefits of Kundalini Rising. When you really bring it into balance, you recalibrate it. So we've got heightened awareness and intuition, emotional healing and balance, expanded creativity and expression, spiritual connection and growth, and inner joy and positivity. And we also covered the kind of potential dangers that are there with Kundalini Rising, because it can be a really intense experience. So we talked about the physical discomfort, emotional turmoil, mental health challenges, spiritual crisis, energy imbalances, isolation and loneliness, difficulty in daily functioning, overstimulation, misinterpretation of experiences, and the need for proper guidance. They were all the signs that, you know, your Kundalini is really out of alignment right now. So if you want some help with that, you know what to do. You know the 3 steps. You need to apply them straight away. Don't wait. So you're going to want to avoid energetic stimulants at all costs. You're going to ground your energy, and you're going to recalibrate those Kundalini levels specific to you. It must be specific to you. And we're going to do that with energy healing, of course. Now, if you're interested to learn how to do that right now, our brand new meditation is ready for you. This energy healing meditation is called the Kundalini Recalibration Energy Healing Meditation, and is designed to help you to repair your shattered chakras, to release blockages, and to recalibrate your unique flow of Kundalini energy to increase spiritual awakening while maintaining that inner balance, of course. Now, if you want to learn how to do this, if you've never tried any of our meditations before, you can be started in about 10 minutes time from the moment you're watching this video. So our energy healing meditations are a blend of guided meditation with energy healing and activations. That's what makes them so specific. Okay, we're not just meditating, we're making energetic adjustments specific to this particular topic. Now, it's going to help you to really work with your unique energy, and it's going to work in harmony with your spiritual awakening experience. Now, this meditation is going to do a few key things. It's going to help you to calibrate the intensity of the levels of Kundalini energy that are surging in your system right now. It's going to reintegrate those shattered aspects of self that were caused by the force of the Kundalini Rising. It's going to restore inner harmony and ease the challenges of the intensity of this transformative experience. It's going to help you learn how to balance that potent energy influx with everyday life, which of course we really need to do. And of course, it's going to expand your consciousness and help you tap into realms of spiritual insight and intuition that you never dreamed existed. It really is a very, very powerful thing. So I hope that you will join us on this journey of empowerment with your Kundalini Rising. Get yourself back into balance. So take a little look below and see if it resonates